Virgo, big welcome to you. This is your tarot reading for the month of November. At this point, I normally say coming from the mountains of Java, and I've no idea where I will be when this gets aired. It's got to be a conspiracy, hasn't it? Let's face it. You know, there's pandemonium at airports around the world. The Channel tunnels in pandemonium. The British Passport Office haven't been able to issue me with a passport, and it's now getting on for 5 months. And now the health restrictions have been reimposed in Indonesia, which means I couldn't collect my passport even if it was here, nor could I get an exit re-entry visa to go and see my dying mother. Yes, that's what's happening. Now, you can call me a sea theorist if you want. I'm only reflecting on what's happening to me. And, these are more than coincidences. And it's happening to people all around the world. And then it's not all coincidences that we're all experiencing the same. But anyway, you want to hear your tarot reading, don't you? Enough about me, and so I'll get into it. Sorry about that, Virgo, but I wanted to get it off my chest. Virgo, I had to stop and check when I saw this spread because it looks a little like another's spread. Can't fully remember who it is. It might have been Taurus. No, it can't be Taurus. It might have been Sagittarius. Probably the conclusions I made were completely different. It's just that there was a sense of deja vu in seeing it. If you look at that central card, that suggests to me that the reading is all about religion, a formal religion. That's how it feels to me. It could be that you're sort of looking at a sort of conservative formal way of doing things, maybe looking at a somewhat conservative philosophy. But yeah, it's a tried and tested way of looking at things. If you look to the bottom right hand corner, we have the High Priestess, which is anything but. That's looking into your subconscious, command of your emotions, command of the other world, if you like, command of the subconscious, maybe command of the paranormal even. Current energy is the Death card. Something comes to an end. It's not going to be pleasant, but it probably is necessary. Looks, well, there's a Tower card as an ending as well. So it's very much about endings, and it's not going to be nice for you in November, but I think they're probably things that have to happen. But I don't know what the endings are to and why. In the future, you become... we have the energy of the King of Wands, King of Action, quite an entrepreneurial king. Yeah. The energy that leads to the outcome is the Queen of Pentacles, who I always call the single mother card. Now, you don't have to be a parent and you don't have to be female, but it's that sort of energy of, got lots to do and maybe struggling a bit to do it all. Well, that's how you see it. What would offset the outcome is you planning something. Maybe planning something very different to what you've done in the past. And as I say, the outcome is a Tower. So that's an end to everything, brings an end to everything. All you can do is start again. And as I say, whilst it will be painful, it's normally quite necessary because you've built your house on bad foundations. So yeah, it's normally something that has to happen. So it's not necessarily a bad card, but... Well, there's an explanation of what all the cards mean, but what the hell's going on, I couldn't tell you. We've got to look a lot deeper into this because it doesn't make a great deal of sense at this moment in time. So I hope you'll stick with me. I hope it's having some resonance. And if it is, hit the like button, make a comment, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you'll get future notifications. And, these are little things that help me incredibly. So what I want to do, Virgo, is thank you so much for doing those things. Thank you, Virgo. You may well be asking, why from Java? What's important about tarot from Java? And the truth is, there is nothing so important about tarot from Java. Simply that here in Java we have many different spirits who will come to help in your tarot reading. It'll probably put a different reflection on things. For example, the spirits here are less likely to be concerned about love and finances, despite people in Java being every bit as interested in these things as the rest of us. But maybe the spirits are trying to tell us something else. Now I'll be using probably 2 decks, but out of 3 decks. So the first deck is Tarot Nusantara, the second deck is the Steampunk deck, and the third deck is the Light Visions Tarot. Tarot Nusantara is actually a new one to me, which I love, whereas the Light Visions I've struggled with as a result of the rendering. Although I think I'll grow into it, I will keep using it and coming back to it. You can see on all of them I'm using quite a lot of salt, and that's to clear the energy and the spirits from them, something that I do fairly regularly with my tarot. And I also, you'll see a number of Jimat there that I use just to bring a good energy to the tarot and to my reading. Perhaps the most important mystical object we use in Java is the kris, the curly knife that you can see that I've placed across both decks. Kris are very important for bringing the spirits to work on any object here in Java. And I call on the spirits of the mountains to assist me in shuffling these cards, in selecting the right cards and interpret them correctly for Virgo for November 2022. So the energy that runs throughout this entire reading is this Hierophant card. And I see it as formal religion. I mean, it could be looking towards a tried and tested way of doing things, a sort of conservative philosophy. But you look at this particular card, I mean, it does look to be religion, doesn't it? He looks to be a guru. He looks somewhat ecumenical because of these cards are. I think actually the person who designed these cards, I know he's from Jogja, but I've got the feeling that he might be a Catholic. Particularly north of Jogja, there's an awful lot of Catholic people. So I've just got the feeling he could be Catholic. I might be wrong. But anyway, that doesn't matter. You know, it does have a religious feeling to it, and they're looking towards him for answers. And that's something that runs throughout this entire reading. So, I mean, it might not be religion, it might be looking for answers, but it is looking at tried and tested ways of doing things. So, all of the other cards, I have to reflect on that. Reflect on, the fact that you are looking at the tried and tested as solutions to things. So, if the overall theme is a formal religion, in the past, it feels like you were looking at the exact opposite. You were tapping into your subconscious, tapping into your emotions and the emotions of others. Somebody very much in control of them. Because we have the High Priestess, who's the female magician, really. You might even have been looking into magic. I don't know. Maybe your search for formal religion now is a reaction to that. I couldn't tell you. You probably know better yourself. You look at it, there's a balance there, a balance between the black and white pillars. She's got the balance between the wand and the book, so between the brain and the subconscious. And her foot's on the moon, so she knows about the unknown. She's not fearful of it. She knows all about it. It is no mystery to her. She has command of those things. Now that's your past. Now your current energy is the Death card. It does mean abrupt, probably bitter endings. I mean, readers always say it doesn't mean death, but I mean, it could actually mean death. But I don't think it means your death. I don't know, alarm you like that. We've got a tower later on, so there definitely are sudden endings, abrupt endings, unwelcome endings, I think. I don't know what it's an ending to, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. You know, I haven't got a full measure. I mean, although I think there's religion in here, I haven't got a full measure what's going on, to be honest with you. You look at the card, well, you know, there's the angel of death riding through with this scythe, cutting through the people. But, you know, there's that man, the old man, standing up to him. Behind the old man is a Hindu temple, and behind that is a sun shining down. So it's saying there's hope. And, you know, death is often a necessary thing. Your future energy is that of the King of Wands. Now, he's a very action-orientated king. He could even be an entrepreneur, but it's an imperative for action. So it's like all these things that are going on have made you decide to do something. I mean, how is religion related to it? Well, we don't know. We don't know what the death is. I couldn't tell you. There's so much unknown at this moment in time in this reading. You look at the card, well, you know, he's in a beautiful throne. It's got a carved buffalo on it because he's from Taraja, and they sacrifice buffalo to send the dead onto a new life. So new life, new. It does feel like a reborn new life for you there. He's got his wand in his hand, or his staff in his hand, so there's authority, but he looks like he's ready to spring into action as well, doesn't he? Yeah, very much so. I said that was a buffalo. I think it's a lion. I don't think it is Taraja at all, you know. No, I think that's a lion, isn't it? Fierce then. Fierce, yeah. The energy that brings about the outcome is the Queen of Pentacles. And I always call her the single mother card. But given that the outcome is the Tower, an abrupt, unwelcome ending, how could you being a single mother bring about that? Do you know, I don't know. I mean, you don't have to be a parent, you don't have to be female, it's the energy. So let me think about that energy. See if I can work out what is there in that energy. Yeah, well, you know, I always focus on the fact that you're struggling a little, struggling to earn money and you know, look after a family. But if we boil down what that's really about, it means that you're creating a degree of financial security while remaining compassionate. So maybe I should just focus on those things and not that sort of working single mother type of idea. You know, what's behind it? You look at it, I mean, she's holding on to that pentacle, so, you know, money's definitely involved. That looks like a hare to me, but I think it's meant to be a rabbit, and I think that's meant to signify children. She's in an absolutely gorgeous landscape, but she looks a bit too busy to enjoy it, and that certainly is another of those feelings from it. I always say she feels she's not doing a very good job, but I think the rest of the world thinks she's doing a wonderful job, and maybe that means something. Why would that lead to a tower, though? Why would it lead to a tower? Do you know, I've no idea. Maybe just working too hard. Maybe working too hard. I don't know. Now, the thing that would prevent the tower is you planning. Why on earth would planning prevent this sort of things from crashing down? Maybe if you'd done more planning. Maybe if you'd done more planning, then things wouldn't come crashing down. If you'd scanned what was going on in your life. Yeah, because the Tower is about building your house on rocky foundations, maybe. The Queen of Pentacles is maybe you working too hard to see the wood for the trees. So this is sort of taking some time out to scan the environment, plan your future. Maybe plan something quite different because he's looking overseas. Yeah, you look at that, he's got a globe in his hand looking overseas. So maybe you need to plan something very different and you can't see that because you're just throwing yourself into work so hard. Maybe I'm getting somewhere. Maybe I am. So yeah, the outcome, I mean, we've said it many times, it's a tower. So this comes from having built your house on the wrong foundation and things come tumbling down. And they come tumbling down abruptly. It will be painful, but all you can do is pick yourself up and rebuild. You look at it, well, the tower's been struck by lightning, they've fallen out of the tower, it looks pretty miserable, doesn't it? But as I say, it's often necessary because if you've done something on the wrong foundation, then it does need pulling down. You do need to restart your life. Now, particularly with that coming with the Death card, it's got to mean that there's major changes to your life. But I think they're the right changes, and I think you've thrown yourself into keeping busy and not spotting what's going on. Whereas, yes, of course, in the past, you see, you had the High Priestess. In the past, you were sort of somewhat aware of these things and you've ignored them, thrown yourself into them, and these problems are going to they're going to sink you now. But it's probably for the best, as I keep saying. Let's get some clarification on what it's all about, though. I suppose I could have sought clarification on the Tower, but I felt that if I sought clarification on the Death card, that precedes the Tower, or feels like it does. It feels as though the Death comes before the Tower. So maybe it will tell us more. I mean, I could have tried to find out what the sort of Hierophant, what you looking at religion was, but I don't know. I want to find out what this Tower is really, or I want to find out what the Death is. First card we get is the Five of Swords. That's a card of betrayal, so you've been betrayed. The next card is the Queen of Swords. I associate that with you setting up boundaries, but being firm but fair. Have you been betrayed, or have you betrayed somebody else? I wonder. And the next card is the Four of Swords. Notice how they're all swords as well. All cards of information. Four of Swords is you taking a rest. I mean, you deserve it. But if you take a rest after that death, after something comes to an end, maybe that brings about the Tower. So it's almost as though there was an ending to something, and then rather than being on top of it, it destroyed even more. That's how it's feeling now. It doesn't feel very good, I've got to say. Virgo. So the first card of clarity is the Five of Swords. Conflicts, disagreements, winning at all costs. I don't know if that's somebody's done that to you or you've done that to them. I think somebody's done it to you. I think there's been a conflict, there's been a disagreement. What's it about? We don't know. We don't know if this is business or love or something else, but there's a conflict here. There's a conflict. You look at the card, he's busy. Oh, and of course this does echo with what I'd said before about, you were busy, keeping yourself busy and not spotting the Tower. So here he is, busy selling that sword to that lady while her accomplice is stealing a sword from behind his back. Yeah. You've been busy in yourself with day-to-day things, and you really knew all this was going on, but you've been a bit of an ostrich, and you've been avoiding it, haven't you? Yeah. And the next card of clarity is the Queen of Swords. She's quite a likeable queen, but she's a firm but fair queen. She's a queen about boundaries. Now, given that you've been deceived, is it saying that you didn't put down enough boundaries? Firm but fair. I've come back to thinking, I wonder if you were the one doing the deceiving. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. We've got that religion card there as well, haven't we? No, I don't think it's you. Boundaries, firm but fair. Maybe somebody tries to deceive you and they get their comeuppance. They get caught. But what you don't realise is that that's going to bring about a real ending to everything. Yeah. You think the fact that them getting caught is an end to it, and it's not. Maybe that's it. You look at her, she's rather a nice queen, but she does have that sword in her hand, doesn't she? Yeah. And now we have the Four of Swords, which is you taking a rest, and I don't blame you. But do you know what I think it is? I think this deception is one of those deceptions that just doesn't go away. So years ago, well, it wasn't that many, but a few years ago, I used to go to Vietnam a lot. And I always used to fly into into Saigon. And it was the old airport, not the airport they have now. Or at least I think they've got a new airport now. So I used to fly into the old airport, and I'd get in a taxi. And the taxi driver would always go to me, $10. And the thing is, the taxi fare was about $1.20 in Vietnamese dong. Now, I didn't used to carry, I used to have some dong with me, but I didn't normally carry dollars with me anyway. I'd probably have Indonesian rupiah or pound sterling on me. And I'd explain no dong, and use the meter, and they didn't speak any English, so they just kept saying $10, and I used to get angry, and there's no point whatsoever getting angry. But when you know the score and you've caught them out fiddling you, and they keep trying to do it, it wears you out, and that's what I think it's done to you. You're worn out. Because they keep trying to betray you, and you're fed up, and you should have these boundaries, and you do have the boundaries, but you're just worn out by the attempts. That's the problem. Well, I think we can summarise for you. It's a little bit disjointed, but I do understand what. Virgo, this reading is about you taking your eye off the ball, getting fed up, really. Yeah, getting fed up and tired with what's going on. Throwing yourself into things and ignoring what you really know. You see, in your heart of hearts, you know there's something wrong. You've known it for a long time. You've known there's something wrong, you know that people are trying to deceive you, but you're sort of letting it go. Now, there is religion somewhere in here, and I don't know how it fits in. Are you letting it go because you're a religious person and you think, well, I'm rich, if they want to get away with something, then fair enough, but, don't keep doing it, for goodness sake. Or is it somebody connected with your religion that's doing this? I don't know. But what they're doing is they keep taking from you. And, you've got boundaries in place. You know what they're doing. But it's wearing you out. It's wearing you out. And you're getting fed up. Because you've caught them so many times. And you're going, look, please don't do it again. And they do it again. And they keep doing it again. and you're just fed up, you're worn out, and you're just hoping it will go away. You're busying yourself with other things, hoping it will go away. And what you really need to do is have a plan for this. You need to plan, and you need to say, look, this is what's going on. What am I going to do? I mean, maybe you walk away from that particular area of your life, but you're not doing that. You're just plodding on. You're plodding on. And maybe your plan is about, how do you bring them to justice? I mean, to a degree, I think they do get brought to justice, to a degree, but they still keep doing whatever it is. And what it's going to do, if you don't plan and sort it out, it's going to bring an end to so many things in your life. So it's not just the loss, it's going to bring an end to so many things. And it's because you're focused, you're trying to brush it under the carpet, you're trying not to think about it, because it just depresses you, It just depresses you to know that they won't stop doing what you want, and you're trying to be nice, you're trying to be good to them. But no, it's going to bring a bitter ending. Maybe that has to happen because of whatever they're doing. I mean, clearly they shouldn't be doing it, so you should have organised your life differently. So maybe this ending is necessary to give you an opportunity to organise things differently. Now, I don't know if it's a business, if it's your personal life, what it is, although religion is indicated. But you're going to end up, after it comes tumbling down, determined to act, determined to do things, maybe even an entrepreneur. So I think some good really comes from it, but it's a thorn in your side, you know what I mean? You can't be bothered with people that keep doing things, and you catch them and they keep doing it, Yeah, I mean, I know that feeling, and I'm sure we all do. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed Tarot from Java as an addition to my channel, The Magic of Java. Please take a look at the other videos that I have on this channel about magic from Java, and I hope that you will become a subscriber. Now, if you want to hear your next tarot reading, hit the button, and that will inform you of when I publish new readings. I'm certainly going to do a reading for every month, but maybe I will try them a bit more frequently, say a mid-month reading, and maybe also some special readings. But above all, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, and enjoy Java.